Hello there everyone, welcome back to another children's trading card game video. Today I'm going to be talking about the superior rares from set 3 and I'm going to be ranking them. Before we get started, firstly I apologise if I sound a bit weird. I currently have a bit of a throat infection, so that is the reason for this. It was the reason there was no video on Saturday. I was not capable of talking. Hopefully it will be gone soon. Also, the reason you haven't seen an unboxing is my product still isn't here. Yay, thanks Italy. Before I get started, thank you Sundial, my Simian level supporter. I would tell you, if you want to pick up some set 3 products, use my affiliate link in the description, but you guys sold them out. They have no more. So, you know, the link will be there. Hopefully by the time you see this, my hair is a mess. Hopefully by the time you see this, good lord, hopefully by the time you see this, they will have updated that link to include older product and their restock whenever they get that in to tide us over to set 4. So please do use that if you want to support the channel. But other than that, I'm so sorry about this. In my head, this sounds ridiculous. Let's go ahead and get started. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be ranking all of the superior rares on this patented Aibo tier list here. So let's go through the tiers. At the very top, we have Broken. This is like game defining levels of silly. Then we have Strong. This is something that's going to be generically really good. A lot of decks are going to be able to use it. A lot of rulers are going to be able to use it. It's not really restrictive. It's generally something I would expect to see quite a lot of play. In Niche, it's cards that aren't bad, but they are only really usable in specific decks. Then in Not Good, we have cards that are really not very strong at all. And then finally at the bottom is Garbage. Now, I will preface this, I don't think I'm going to be putting anything in those bottom 2 tiers, to be honest. I really don't think I will be. But I've put them there because I will be using this tier list in future, so I figured I might as well get this sort of standard together. Now, incidentally, while I have you here at gunpoint, let me know what deck profiles you want to see when my product does come in. I am very excited to get started on those. And I've got a lot of ideas, but man, building decks in this format is hard. Let's get started with, okay, I don't think this really requires any explanation, but Lucifer is far and away the best card in this set. Like, yeah, okay, maybe Embrace of Eons, maybe, but it's Lucifer, let's be real here. Lucifer is absolutely insane, crazy card. Yeah, if you have not suffered a Lucifer just yet, I'm sure you will very quickly learn how good this card is. You know, some people still seem to think this card is, you know, I can forgive you thinking Lucifer is overrated, but there are still some people who seem to think this card isn't even very good. And I want whatever drugs you guys are on, to be honest, because this card is cracked and broken. This is the only card that's going to be in broken tier. Next, let's go ahead and put Konosaki Ohime. We're going to put her in strong tier. This was the first SR that was revealed and probably the single most versatile. In a drive deck, it's going to let you gain an additional drive. We know how good that is thanks to Darumageddon, and you don't even have to attack. This is actually simply an OD ability, so you actually don't even have to play her to get the drive. And then in a hand-based deck, you'll be able to draw two. Now, I don't know if you've heard of a card called Pot of Greed, but that's a card that was quite good. And whilst this isn't exactly the same, it's pretty, you know, it says draw 2. So it's actually nothing, it's not even remotely like Pot of Greed, outside of the fact that they both enable you to take the top 2 cards of your pile that you refer to as your deck on the table and place them into the pile of cards held in your 5-fingered grip. Called your hand, it's a shit joke. The point is, this card's pretty good and deserves very much to be in this strong tier. Next, maybe one that people might not be expecting. A Misclock Dragon, I think, is very much strong tier. I think this card is a lot. It's a very generic. It's basically as generic as Konosaki Hime. The difference is, unlike Konosaki Hime, and why I think it's a little worse, is because this can be dealt with, this can be interrupted. If you remove its charges, if you remove it from the board, then you're not going to be able to get that ability off. So it is more interactable, whereas Konosaki Hime is just going to get you that draw 2. But this is a very powerful, aggressive card, very, very versatile, and I would be pretty shocked if it didn't see a great deal of play. Certainly in the gameplay in this set 2.5 format in Japan, I've been seeing a lot of people have been really getting a lot of use out of Misclock, so yeah, good card is good. Next, Fabilsion, also going to go in strong tier. I think I'm going to put it above Misclock. It's a really good card. It's less obviously good because, like, I mean, you know, thankfully, sorry, I got some stuff in my eye. This is a very professional setup I've got going on here. I'm sick, so I think you guys can forgive me for this shambolic video. So the thing with Fabilsion is it has Sentinel Summoning, or Guardian Summoning, whatever it's called in English, which is really, really good. That's like immediately makes this card like some insane shit, but that's kind of really restrictive, and realistically it's only going to matter in a wizard. So other than that, you might think like, okay, well, it's a 7/5/2, its stats aren't particularly good, it costs 2 to Sentinel Summon, so it's quite expensive, only wizard's going to be able to consistently do it. Why am I playing this card? It's a level 4, so Genesis summoning it outside of Huli is going to be really, really hard. So why am I playing it? Well, because it says DR3 pop anything, and that is the single best DR in the entire game. Lucifer's DR to untap is good, but DR3 to remove anything is ridiculous. So I think this is a card that is so hard carried by that one ability. It's straight into strong tier. Like remove anything. Like, guys, there's not much destruction in the game. There's really not. So, you know, a card that just says, fuck you, I'm gonna kill anything, that you can very easily do 2 or 3 times later in the game, just boom, 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 board wipe, set yourself up in a really good position, and it's so versatile. Volnar's a very, very viable faction. It's not like it's an X-Vader or something, which is much more niche. Yeah, I think this card is really, really, really good. Next, let's move on to some more niche cards. And we're going to start with, I think this is obvious, this has to go here because it's only designed for one deck. This card is broken in its deck and absolutely unplayable outside of it, so we'll put it in niche tier. But yeah, this X-Vader deck is looking really good. I have no idea how to build it properly. My first thought is obviously Overlord, but that level limit is really tough. So I am struggling a bit to make it work, but we will. I'm looking forward to playing that full X-Vader deck. Let's go back to the main factions. I'm conflicted on Ifrit, and I'm torn, because I want to put it in not good, because it's really not good in most decks, but that burn deck could be good, but it would be a drive deck. I'm gonna put it in not good. I think this is by far the worst SR. Like, it's not even close. And yeah, it's just, the artwork is great, but I just don't think the effect is there, which really, really sucks. But yeah, I just think it's got to go in. It's got to go in not good. I'm standing by that. It's not worth the space in most decks. And even in the decks it is worth the space, and I'm not convinced that tech's going to be particularly good. I will say this is very much like, it could graduate to niche if that burn deck does ever become good, which would probably be blue-pink. Which it does have a lot of tools, you know, so it maybe is good in this set, and maybe I'm just sleeping on this a bit. You know, it's got the new Wonderverse Legend, the Galactic Samurai to Kamikaze to deal final damage. It's got the Forced Reveal, a legendary to deal 2, all your counters burn. I think at this point, you can literally play 16 counters that do burn damage. So, you know, I think there is, you know, potential here. But I don't know. Ed, I'm going to throw up in the bottom of strong tier. I think it's really good. The problem is its stats are really, really bad. It's 2-1-2. Yeah, it has 2 strikes short, but, you know, yes, it does 5 damage to something when it enters, which is really nice, don't get me wrong, but 5, it's sort of like, is a really good amount. 5 is a really good amount. 5 is like hitting that magic number that, you know, that's what makes Lucifer so good, because some of the most annoying cards in the game are 5 HP. For example, through him again. Most of the cards on this list are 5 HP, so, you know, it's hitting a magic number is really good. And the fact that you can just play a Wonderverse event free from your drop zone is kind of insane. I'm gonna put Ed here, and the reason Ed, I think, has the most potential out of anything in strong tier to move up to broken tier. So I think this is very possible in the future, but and maybe even now. But the problem I have with Ed is the Wonderverse event support. It's not really there at the moment to make this card truly broken. But when it gets there, this card, like, this is a card that I think, so as an aside, I'm going to interrupt this video for a moment. Right, as an aside, my locals is already sold out of set 3. Like, the product hasn't even arrived, and they've had people like show up and just pay for the remainder that they ordered. So, like, already they're sold out. Every locals I know in America has already sold out of set 3. I don't know if that's a function of a small print run, which seems likely. I think there probably was a relatively small print run, but certainly I don't think it would have been so small that, you know, there's no product. I think it was probably a similar size print run to maybe set 1 or set 2. It's already sold out. In Japan, it's selling out too. From what I've been seeing, it's selling quite well. You know, relative to our expectations, I think it's doing fairly well. So, I think if Gabriel can move past its very difficult first year, which we're in right now, and its second year really starts to take off, I think Ed's going to be a really expensive card, because it's got some of the strongest future potential. Like, Lucifer can get power crept really easily if they just print a lot of 6 HP things, right? Like, Lucifer can go from 0 to 0 if they just power creep the stats. Whereas Ed is inevitably going to be insane as long as they make a couple of good Wonderverse events, which they will eventually. There's no way they won't. So I think, like, Ed has the most potential. And yeah, the point of this aside, I think you should pick up your Eds now, because I think you should do your best to get all your set 3 superior rares, like, right now. I don't think you'll struggle to find the other stuff, but the superior rares are printed at a lower rate than 4 stars and stuff. They are a bit rarer. You get less of them. So usually what I do is I split 2 cases with my 2 friends. There's 3 of us, and we've been able to get a playset and a little bit extra of everything from that split, which has obviously been, you know, stonks. That's, you know, dirt cheap. But we're actually probably not going to get all the superior rares. We'll get almost all. We'll need like maybe 3 or 4 each extra total. So, like, you know, 12 extra. It's not, you know, basically 1 or 2 boxes worth of superior rares. So that's fine, not a big deal. But I think that's going to have a significant effect on the secondary market when people are buying boxes. It's very random. Like, it's very random the superior rare rate you're going to get. So the point here of the rambling, get your superior rares now. I think they're gonna skyrocket if this game does take off, which I think it should. I think it has the potential to. Okay, I've waffled on for so long. Let's try and wrap this up. Another niche tier is, and I think this is, you know, I mean, these are sort of equally ridiculously good in their decks. This is just an aggro machine. I don't think there's a better aggro card in the game, to be honest. Maybe Misclock is a bit more versatile, but yeah, this card is absolutely insane. The reason this card isn't in broken is because you have to specifically DR4 military, and that's actually quite hard. You have to really build around it. You can't be playing anything and everything anymore. It's not like a good stuff sort of thing. But if you build around it, this card is absolutely nuts. In the military deck, I think it's really, really, really strong. And finally, there's this, and I'm putting it in the bottom of niche. You could make an argument. You could make an argument that it could go here. I think it's a bit harsh. I think this card is, if nothing else, it's a 5 health charge shielding double attacker, which is nice. And if you're playing this in Beasts, suddenly you can stop special summoning, which is really, really, really good. And Beasts, I think, is a deck with a lot of potential that needs to be explored. Earth Beasts, Earth Beasts with Genesis summoning stuff. I think there's a lot of potential there. And I'm looking forward to exploring that. So there we go. That's my tier list. What do you guys think? Have I massively overrated, massively underrated some cards? I think this is probably quite accurate. But do let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, I apologise for the state of my vocal cords. It's not good. I actually, in my head, this sounds really bad, so I hope it's not that bad. If you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe for lots more Gate Ruler Set 3 content, deck profiles and such, and discussions and set reviews. The set reviews will probably be starting after I get some proper time to test in a couple of weeks. But yeah, if you I think I've checked in my schedule. I don't fucking know, man. Just subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. I'm like 200 subs away from that Dragonborn YouTube channel, man. Get me there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.